Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Digital Ministry Success. I want to thank you all for stopping by. Today, we're going to talk about how to sell your books. I'm Dr. Rick Greene, and this is something that can change your income, it can change your influence, and it can change, well, quite frankly, your impact. Tonight, I'm going to show you how to sell your books without begging, without spamming, and without really feeling pushy. Let's see if we can get started here. And I think you're going to find this quite interesting because this is where the rubber meets the road. This is where most people have a problem. Most people think writing a book is hard, but actually, the harder part is getting people to buy your book. If you post a link and just say, my book is out, that's not really marketing. That's really basically announcing. And so, what I'm going to show you tonight is how to sell your book in a way that still feels holy, that still feels respectful, that still feels like ministry, because you're not really manipulating people, you're serving them. But as always, we're going to start with some basics. For those of you who may be watching this video for the first time, there's not many people on live, as I understand, but that's okay. This is for not only today and for those who are going to watch this later on. And that's the one thing that you have to remember as you're going forward, putting out content. Hundreds or thousands of people will watch it later on, not necessarily watching it at the time when you're recording it. So our goal, my mission for 2026 is basically to work with 26 leaders. We're up to about 10 now, and help them to expand their ministries through creating digital content and multiple streams of income. I work with pastors, ministers, and ministry leaders. That is my focus. Understand something. You are not for everyone. Everyone is not going to like you. The content that you produce is not for everyone, but you are for someone. God has called you to minister, to serve, to help somebody. Don't worry about who is not going to receive you. Focus on those who are interested in what you have to offer. Even Jesus taught, wipe the dust from your feet from those who would not receive you. It's okay. They're meant for someone else. But there are 8 billion people in the world. And surely there's enough people to go to what God has given you to say and to seek out your help. The thing is, they want what you have. They want what you have to offer, but they just don't know that you exist. And that's why we create the digital content, so that people who want what you have will be able to find you. I always talk about, what is your purpose? What should you be doing? Well, I believe that your gift, your anointing is your purpose. What talents did God give you? What gifts did He give you? What passion did He give you? This is probably what you should be doing. Many of you have seen this a few times. I talk about the Japanese term ikigai, or your reason for living. So, what is it that you're good at? What is it that you love to do? What is it that people need? And what is it, especially in business, that you can get paid for? I talk about understanding this 3 sentence business plan, or actually, you could say maybe it's 1 sentence. Who do you serve? What transformation? We're going to talk about this more later on. And how do you help them transform? This is about launching a business. This is not focused on ministry, but however, as I went forward in this, I found that it actually expands your ministry, but it's taught from a business perspective. Many of you have ministries that are thriving, that are successful, and you're going forth. However, you're struggling financially. The focus on this is to make more money. But what I didn't realize is that this is really expanding people's ministries as well. And that's happening more often than I realized than I thought it would be. That is one of the keys to this. So not only are you going to be able to create content to help people, to bless people, to help them to grow and to generate income for yourself, it's going to expand your ministry as you go forward in it. I'm just going to flip through some things here. We talked about writing and publishing your first ebook. We talked about the sources, and we're going to talk about this more in depth later on. There's so many income streams that you can develop through this. So we're just going to go through this very quickly. Tonight, what we're going to focus on is your digital ministry success. I'll talk a little bit about the 12-week transformation, turning your ministry into a global movement. It's comprehensive for what I teach. I've got 45 years of ministry experience and modern design. The goal is, again, to equip pastors, ministry leaders to gain influence, income, and build impact with digital tools. I've talked over and over again about all the products that you can create just from one simple book. First thing we have to do is we have to set the frame. We have to realize that we don't want to be pushy. That's one of the key things. We don't want to be pushy in what we're doing. These are some of the people I've learned from, I've studied from, I've taken their course, I've met them, I've been in the room with them, I've paid for their courses, and I've spoken with them, and I've learned a lot from them. They are all multimillionaires. Phase one, we focus on clarity and building definition, defining your niche, your branding, foundational asset. Phase two, marketing and delivering. And phase three, scaling and automating everything. Some of the things that we learned through the program is one, writing the book, publishing your book, making an audio book, building a YouTube channel, building a Facebook group, learning simple video production and editing, creating thumbnails and hooks. These are important. Creating an offer, coaching, building websites such as Patreon, creating a blog, online course creation, mass emailing strategies, webinars and seminars, and affiliate marketing. I'm going to make videos on all of these. I'm going to teach all of these. This is what we go through in the 12-week program. So this is what I wanted to get to tonight. And how shall I say? We don't want to be pushy. What being pushy actually is trying to sell something to someone who doesn't need it. But if your book truly solves a problem, or if it answers a question, or if it strengthens someone's faith, or helps them to win at life, then what you're offering isn't pushy. It's actually, you're doing it out of love. You're trying to be a blessing to them. So selling is simply serving with clarity. Here's what I'm going to teach you tonight. And we're going to get to some other slides that'll talk more about this. It's called the three-step book sales engine. It's a blueprint. Hook, story, offer. This is something I learned from Russell Brunson, who's considered one of the best marketers in the world. Hook, make them want your book before they even see the cover. You tell them a story, connect your message, your book, your product, what they're paying, and show them what the value is. And thirdly, make an offer. Hook, story, offer. I want you to remember that. Publishing steps, we have to format the book. We take it from Word to print. We create a cover in Canva. We upload to a platform such as Amazon KDP. And what we're going to do is we're going to turn one book into a lead magnet, a paid product, and a value ladder, which is steps. And we're going to get to that, whereby you're going to take people through this and you're going to help them to grow, and it's going to increase your income. Just want to show you one more step from this slide deck here. So this is what your ministry offering should look like. Forgive me, I have a bit of a cold tonight. I'm not 100%, and you can probably tell that. But hopefully I'll feel a little better as we go. Tier 1, lead generation. Free content, ebooks, checklist. This is where you connect with your potential client. Many of you have filled out a form, given someone your email for a free download. What they are doing is, in exchange for the free product you're getting, they're getting access to you. You're giving them permission to email you. So now they can contact you with other information. Maybe they've given you a checklist. Maybe they've given you an ebook. Maybe they've given you photos or charts or graphs. This is what you can do with your ebook. Some people are actually doing it with their book. We'll talk more about that. Second step is your core product. What is the main thing that you want to offer, that you want to sell? Using our program, what we focus on is writing the book, creating the book, and once you've created that, then you go back and make videos based on the book. So out of every chapter of the book, you're going to be able to get 2, 3, 4, 5 videos. And once you've done that over 5, 6, 7 to 10 chapters, you're going to have 20 to 50 videos. And you're posting these on YouTube, and you can combine them into a course. You can combine them into a group coaching program where people will buy it. And thirdly, a premium value offer, whereby you can offer mentorship, where not just group coaching, which is your core product, the main thing that most people will buy. And we'll talk about this more later on, but going into one-on-one mentorship or VIP days where you spend the day with them. And eventually we take that to the fourth step, which there is reoccurring revenue, memberships, subscriptions, where it's an ongoing revenue stream. So let's talk about how to sell your books without begging, without spamming. We want to sell with integrity. The world says, hype it, put pressure on people, take money, be transactional. I was in sales for, I don't know, maybe 30, 40 years. I've had a carpet store. I've ran 3 furniture stores. I've had 2 clothing stores. I've had 3 Radio Shack stores. I've done real estate, and still from time to time sell some real estate properties, residential. I'm transitioning into commercial right now. So I have some deals lined up with that. But my passion, my love is teaching. And what I've discovered is we have to do what we love to do. What is your passion? What do you love to do? That's what you have to focus on. That's why we talk about purpose. That's why we focus on it, because if you love to do it, you're going to continue to do it. And if you love to do it, you're going to get good at it. And if you get good at it, there are people out there who need what you have to offer, your solutions. And if you but make yourself available to them, they will find you and they will gladly be able to give you some of their money for the answers and solutions that you have. The kingdom way, story and solution, giving answers to prayer. It's transformational. People have been praying for an answer, and you've got the answer. People need to hear your story, what you've been through, how you got through it. And it's very simple. All you have to do is share with people what you've already been through. Marketing is simply this: how we communicate value to people we are called to serve. That's the DMS Week 5 curriculum. And so we're going to talk about this. The story, okay, is a connection over perfection. Let me go back. I want to talk a little bit more about this hook. I don't have this slide here that I wanted. Let me talk a little bit more about this. What is a hook? A hook is basically the thing that hooks you in. When you scroll on your phone and looking at YouTube videos, you're looking at the thumbnails, you'll scroll past some, but you'll pick something out that hooks you in. You say, oh, that looks interesting. Let me take a closer look at that. A hook is a line that makes someone stop scrolling and lean in. The hook is not, I wrote the book. Nobody cares. And I want you to get this. Nobody cares that you wrote a book. This is one of the hardest things some of my clients have, is because you're passionate about what you wrote. Truth is, people don't care about your book. In fact, your mother doesn't really care about the book of your life story because she was there. She already saw it. She's not interested in reading it because she lived it. A lot of people want to write biographies. Unless you've done something really unique and outstanding, most people don't care. Understand that. I know it seems interesting to you, but people are not interested basically in your life story. They don't care that you wrote a book. They care about what can the book do for them. What can your book do for them? What can your ministry do for them? The formula is, well, I'll give you three. First hook formula, and you should write this down. The how-to formula. How to blank without blank. And I want you to think about your book and apply this to that. For example, you could say, how to sell your book without begging people. How to write your book without being overwhelmed. How to build income from your message without compromising your ministry. What would you be able to say to that? How to do blank without doing blank. Second hook formula, taking people from pain to promise. Now, understand something. People aren't very receptive if they don't know you for you to lead them to the thing that they want. If you met someone and they said, you want $100? Come take a look over here. And you never met them, you would be reluctant and probably would not go with them because you're skeptical, you're leery, you're not trusting of them, you don't know what they're going to do to you. However, if you were in a burning bush and you ran a burning bush, hallelujah. If you were in a burning home and you ran into a stranger in the midst of the burning building, and they said, follow me, I know the way out, you would follow them because you're in the midst of pain. So people will follow you out of their pain even if they don't know you, but they're going to be reluctant to follow you to lead them to value and to promise if they don't know you. Does that make sense? So, from pain to promise, if you're tired of blank, here's how to blank. If you're tired of blank, here's how to blank. So, what you're doing, you're establishing, you're connecting with the thing that's bothering them, and you're showing them how to be let out of it. An example, if you're tired of posting your book and nobody buys it, here's how to fix that. If you see that, if you're scrolling, if you see a thumbnail, you might click on that. If you're tired of posting your book and nobody's reading it. If you're tired of feeling invisible online, here's how to become the trusted voice. So, from pain to promise, coming out of your pain, that's another hook. So, we've got how to, and then we've got taking people from pain to a promise. Third hook. And you write these down because you can use these when you're creating your blogs, when you're creating your stories, when you're creating any writings or creating videos. You use these where it's going to grab people's attention. Third hook formula, from curiosity to contrarianism. For example, your book isn't fail, or your book isn't failing, your blank is failing. Your delivery is failing. Your approach is failing. Your marketing is failing. You see the contrast? Your book isn't failing. Your follow up is failing. Your book isn't the product, it's the doorway. The reason why you're not making money is not because your book isn't good, it's because you're not following up with all the leads that you already have. You're not making more sales, not because you don't have enough followers, but because you're not paying enough attention to the followers you have already. I spoke with someone who wrote a great book. I had the privilege to work with them, and we had a lot of fun doing it, and it's going to be very successful. But they have maybe close to 4,000 followers in all of their social media apps. And I asked them, well, do you follow up with these people? Do you reach out to these people? Do you ever DM these people? Do you tag these people? And the sad answer was no. One, he wasn't aware of how to do that. And so you don't need more people. You just need to take care of the people that God has already placed in your sphere of influence. Right now, you know enough people to earn $100,000 a year from your product, your one book. I'll say that again. You know enough people right now on the average person with social media, whether it be Facebook or Instagram or YouTube or Twitter or X. You have enough people probably. If you connected and worked with and worked on those people and helping them to meet their needs and achieve their goals, you know enough people already to achieve a six-figure income. So think of your book, what the title or what the topic is. I don't have my book here with me. I've more often talked about the breakthrough to accomplishing your goals. So think of the topic or the title of your book. Who does it help? And what problem does it solve? And you can turn it into a hook in 10 seconds. If I had my book here, again, the title is The Breakthrough to Accomplishing Your Goals. So, from pain to promise. If you're tired of not accomplishing the things you want in life, here is the book to show you why you're failing and how to overcome. We can use it as a how to accomplish your goals. without banging your head against the wall to figure it out. Or third, the curiosity. It's not that you're not good enough, it's just you don't have a system to overcome the obstacles that you're facing. And so those are three hooks based on my book, The Breakthrough to Accomplishing Your Goals. I'll give you some more based on what I do and my books. If you ever have struggled with blank, you need this. Most people are doing blank wrong. Here's what works. Here are three reasons your blank isn't working. And you fill in the blanks. Fill it in, make it personal to what your content is about. I wish someone had told me this before I blanked. Stop doing blank if you want blank. Stop trying to have 5 social media sites if you really want impact. By the way, that's a key. Focus on 1 or 2 at the most. And don't be afraid of transformation. Don't be afraid of letting go. Don't be afraid of deleting them. You need to focus. That's something that I am doing this year. I am focusing more so than ever. Simplicity, simplify your life. Don't say that you're going to post 5 times a week if you really don't feel geared up to do it. It is better you post 1 or 2 times a week consistently where people know where you are, where people can find you, than you hit or miss. Focus. Make it easy for yourself. Make it such that you'll have fun doing it and it doesn't feel like a burden and you'll be more successful. Here's a couple more. If you stop doing blank if you want blank. Here's a shortcut to accomplishing your goals. This is why your book isn't selling. You're not doing blank. Before you promote your book again, do this. So those are some hooks. So once you have their attention with the hook, you need the second part. The second part is going into the story. What does a story do? The story is what makes people trust you. Again, people don't buy books, they buy belief. They buy the belief that this product can help me to get the change or the transformation that I want. Think about it. Everything that you've ever bought, you bought it because you wanted change. You bought the new suit because you wanted different clothes so that you could look better. You bought the new car because the old car was maybe broken down or you didn't like the way it looked. You bought whatever it is. You bought the wrench because you needed the wrench to help you to tighten the bolts because they were loose. People buy transformation. Look at your book, look at your product as an agent or a tool for transformation, dealing with their pain. Your story is your testimony, and your solution that helps them get over the bridge. And that's what they want. The 60-second rule: connect your message to their problem in under 1 minute. Under 1 minute. Under 1 minute. Now, we're pastors, we're teachers, we're ministers, we're ministry leaders. We explain things in detail or quite long, or we take a long time, a lot of times, and use a lot of words. If you notice Jesus didn't use a lot of words. If you've ever heard from God or heard the voice of God, have you noticed that God uses 1, 2, 3 words the most? He doesn't use a lot of words. The more words you use could be a detrimental effect to have less impact. So don't just teach the lesson, share your journey of how you discovered the truth. This is so important. 60-second structure for putting your story together. Before, talk about what your struggle was. I was struggling to get my online business going. The breakthrough, what changed? Then I started watching blank. After listening to him, I was able to restructure my online presence. You see the story? You're taking people along in your testimony. You think about how you got saved. I was strung out, partying, doing drugs, stealing, life of crime, committing adultery, fornication. But then I prayed to God, and Jesus answered. And now my life is on path. I don't struggle with those addictions anymore. In fact, I haven't done that in close to 30 years. And now my life is much better. This is how, and then you give what the bridge was. This is how coming to the Lord changed my life. So the pain, the solution was Jesus. The epiphany, finding Jesus, and the life change. Here's your story. There was a time I had the message, I had the knowledge, I had the gifting, but I didn't have the system. I was doing what most people do. I'd post something in hope that people would buy and then get discouraged because no one would buy. But once I learned that selling isn't about begging, it's about building a simple process, a hook, a story, and an offer, and then following up, everything changed. You see? That's what it's about. Now I can take that message, turn it into a book, turn that book into an ongoing income system that will bring income, impact, and influence because people understand why it matters for them. I'll give you some story prompts. See, this isn't necessarily exciting to some people, but this is where your money is made. This is the nuts and bolts. With any business, and I've worked with several entrepreneurs, they're excited about their products. I've worked with TV producers, I've worked with movie producers, I've worked with people who had online TV networks and stations. I've worked with singers, I've worked with artists, I've worked with writers, I've worked with lots of creative people, and they get excited about their product, but don't get excited about your product more so than you get excited about the people whom God has called you to serve. Here's some prompts that'll help you to get started. Write these down. What were you frustrated about? What did you discover that changed everything? And what was the results that it produced? What were you struggling with? What were you frustrated about? What did you discover that was new, that changed it? And what results did it produce? There was a time that I was addicted to drugs. And I prayed, Lord, take this away from me. I discovered praying to Jesus sincerely, and that changed it. And one night, I went from doing drugs for 10 years to stopping. That was almost 30 years ago. What result did it produce? I went on to get my bachelor's, master's, doctorate degree, running a Christian bookstore. Went on to help thousands of people to preach and teach God's word. These are the story prompts that you can use to go forth and tell people the story why you wrote the book. Why did you do it? And so as they see the transformation in you, they will see the transformation in themselves, and they will be excited and they will be interested in hearing more from you. So, and then at the end, you can add an identity law. I'm telling you this because I'm not just teaching theory, I'm teaching what I do. And so that wraps it all together. So now that we've got the hook down, we've got the story, now we do the part that people avoid the most. Let's see if I have it here. And we'll talk about that in a little bit, the offer. So the strategy is a lead magnet, building your kingdom list. The objective is to turn a reader into a subscriber. The asset is your email list. It's more valuable than a single book sale. You would rather have the information of contacting people more so than selling a single product, because access to people will give you a lot more sales. So the action is use the book to capture contact details for long-term nurturing. Maybe you can give them the free first chapter. Maybe you can offer them a low-cost product. Maybe you can give them an ebook for free. And so there's a value exchange. What you get is their email list, email contact information. So here's another strategy: a small paid product, funding your ministry growth. You can spend $10 on an ad. And if you sell one book out of this ad, you're broken even. But now you have access to one customer or maybe more. You can spend $10 of an ad and to offer a free download. So you spend the $10 and maybe 10 people say, sign up for the email to send them the free ebook. You spent the $10, but you have access to them. And as you keep sending them offers, eventually one will buy one of the offers you give them. So it becomes a self-liquidating offer. If the book revenue covers your ad spend, you're acquiring new donors and customers for free. The result is an unlimited marketing budget. If you break even every time you sell, every time you put money into advertising, you're creating great advertising, and the potential there is to generate thousands and thousands of dollars. Strategy C, the value ladder. These are offers. So what you want to do is ascend your audience. So first they start out with the book. That gets their attention. That causes them to say, I'm interested. Then maybe you offer them an online course or maybe group coaching. Then from there, you offer them one-on-one coaching or mentoring. So hand raiser, you get them involved. Implementation, they are involved. And high touch, they're fully bought in. The book is just the entry. That's what we teach here at Digital Ministry Success. Now, I know a lot of you are interested in selling your book, and maybe you see yourselves as visions of having this best-selling book and on the New York Times bestseller list. And maybe You will be there. The odds are that you won't, but who am I to stop your dream? Maybe you will make it. But more likely, by doing it this way, using your book as the entry point to get more followers, to make videos, to end up doing coaching, and to end up doing mentoring, to end up doing, and I'll get to this a little bit later on, seminars and webinars and conferences. That's the easier route, the faster route, and the more sure-footed route to you to earn a six-figure income. Readers who want faster results will naturally ascend to the higher level programs. Now, some of you are just going to watch the videos for free. And if you watch all of the videos, you will be and follow all of the steps, you will get there and you will be successful. However, if you buy into the coaching program, you will get there faster. The group coaching plan is just $400. You will get there faster. It's a 12-week program. And if you buy into the one-on-one coaching and mentoring program, where I actually sit one-on-one and help you specifically, you'll get there much faster. You will see the results. You will get your money back much faster. You will invest more, but because you're more invested, and so you're going to work harder. That's one of the reasons for having a coach. That's one of the reasons for having someone in your corner. Just imagine what you could do out of all the things you wanted to do in life, if you had one person who was there to help you and they were all in to support you, but not just support you, because many of you have relationships where people will support you. They're there giving you their moral support, but they don't necessarily have the techniques and the skills and the expertise in the area that you want to go for. This is why you get a coach, to not only motivate you, but to give you insights and skills and to push you. Family doesn't necessarily push you in the right way, or some ways it ruins relationships. This is what you want a coach for. Michael Jordan has a coach. Your greatest star athlete, basketball, football, boxing, professionals, they all have personal coaches. Why? Because they realize the value in it, because it makes them better and it makes them more money. That's why you need a coach. Let's talk a little bit about this offer. What is an offer? An offer is not please buy my book. An offer is here's what you get, here's how it helps, here's what to do next. Here's what you get, here's how it helps, here's what to do next. I want you to think about that. Here's a framework. You can write this down. What is it? Who is it for? What problem does it solve? What they'll actually get, and that could be multiple things. What is the price? And how do they get it? And then a call to action. What is it that they get? When you sign up for the group coaching program, you get a 12-week program that will take you step by step, week by week, to ultimate success with your digital products, turning your ebook into a book, turning those into videos, turning them into courses, turning them into group coaching programs, mentoring programs, one-on-one programs where you're working with people, and ultimately to you're getting 4 and 5-figure incomes from your product, which would be a one-on-one coaching or mentoring program that started out with the ebook that you've already written, and you've gotten it published and you've taken it through the steps and you've grown it to that. That's the value ladder. I'll give you some offer examples. Here's what I want you to do if you're ready. My book is called The Breakthrough to Accomplishing Your Goals, for example. And it's for pastors, ministers, and ministry leaders who are tired of not achieving what God has placed on their heart to accomplish. There's an offer. Inside the book, I'll show you how to identify what's holding you back. I'll show you how to overcome what's holding you back from accomplishing your goals. I'll show you the steps that you need to take to actually do it and how to avoid it in the future. And if you're ready to get it, here's the link. Get the book tonight. And once you do, I want you to message me and send me a message with the word book in it. And I will send you next steps of how you can go beyond the book and to accomplish what's in the book. So you see that offer? It's a comprehensive offer. It's not just putting a Facebook ad out there. It's not just putting a link. It's not just DMing someone with the ad or the flyer from your book. That was the way people used to advertise in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. And unfortunately, many of you are still advertising that way. Now it's about engagement. Talk to the people who are on your social media site. Have a conversation, start a podcast. You can go Facebook Live. Many of you don't know that you can go Facebook Live and you can invite people to join you on your Facebook Live and talk to them. Don't just hallelujah. Don't just talk at them, but talk to them, and that will help them to be more engaged. Finally, you close them with no pressure. And listen, there's no pressure. If it's not for you, that's okay. But if God has been pulling you to do more with your message, this is your next step. Go to digitalministrysuccess.com and sign up for a free discovery call where we can talk one-on-one. That would be my offer that I would give. And you have an offer for your book that would be similar. Whatever the transformation that you're offering, whether it's using your gifts to generate more income, whether it's going through the Word of God to get a breakthrough, to build yourself up spiritually, whether it's coming out of addiction to finding your purpose. These are subjects that have a promise at the end that you can use this to take people to where they want to be. You just have to make them an offer. Again, what is it that you offer? Who is it for? It's for people who are addicted. It's for people who need more income. It's for people who are spiritually weak. What problem does it solve? It helps them to generate more income. It helps them to find their purpose out of their addiction. It helps them to overcome their feeling of inadequacy in living for Christ. What do they get? They get the book, they get the charts, they get change points, they get a clear roadmap of if you follow this plan, then you will get the transformation. The price is $12.99, $15.99, $19.99, or you can get the free ebook. So then order it today if you're ready to go forth out of your addiction, if you're ready to generate more income, if you're ready to grow spiritually in God. And when you do order it, send me a text message, send me an email, include your email address, and let me know that you ordered the book. I have something that I want to share with you. So, one book, whole system. I've talked about this before. Weeks 1 through 4, we work on building your vision. We work on building your niche. We work on identifying your brand and your marketing. What is it that you're going to offer people? What transformation do you have for them? Who are the people you're meant to serve? That is so key. Phase two talks about growing and serving, sales, integrity, content, spiritual growth. Phase three, scale and systems, automation, monetization, and review. Okay. And these are some of the principles I use from Russell Brunson's marketing, Sean Cannell's video production, Myron Golden's biblical business models, and Alex Hermosi's what he teaches about scaling businesses. One book, a whole system. Option one, group coaching. We're talking about your core product. Let's talk a little bit about the whole system. See if I have something here about this. Let me go back to the system here. Whole system based on your one book. So your book is not just a book, it's a whole system. One book is a funnel. There are three ways to use this one book. You can use it as free content. You can use it as a lead magnet. You can offer it for free. This is where you give an ebook away for free, but they pay for the shipping or they opt in with an email. So the purpose is to build your list. And the result is you can follow up with them and you can offer them other products later. It could be something like, if you want my book for free, then go to my website, digitalministrysuccess.com, and I'll send it to you. Once you get it, you're going to be connected to my weekly trainings. Simple as that. Excuse me. As I say, I'm not 100% tonight. You can use your book as a small paid product. This is really a how shall I say, liquidating offer concept. A small paid book covers your marketing and funds the content that you're doing. It pays for itself. You could say something like, get the book for $9.99, and I'm going to include a bonus checklist so you can implement it immediately. Low price. What's real popular now is free plus shipping. I'm going to give you the book, but you just simply have to pay the shipping. Now, if your book is costing $2, $3, $5 and your shipping is $9.99, you're making a little bit of a profit off of that. So it pays for itself. Thirdly, you use the book as in what's called the value ladder. And this is the value ladder here. The book is either paid or free. And you can use that to go to your website. Once they get the book, now you have the email address. You can give them offers to your website for $25 a month for VIP membership to your site, where you can have chats and you can have blogs and further insights, and you make videos. We talked before, and we'll talk about it again, about using Patreon and building a site there to go forth and have greater contact with your clients. From there, you go into your core product, which is group coaching, which is basically, and you've been doing it, if you're a pastor or a ministry leader, you've been doing Zoom Bible studies. That's all the group coaching is. It's just like a Zoom Bible study, but now you're talking about your book instead of teaching the Bible. And oftentimes I know some people who are segueing one from the other. They go from their Zoom Bible study right in to their transformation that they offer through their book that they have written. And that's proven to be quite successful. That's your core product. Most people, if they are interested in the change that you have to offer, can afford the $400 or $300 or $99 or $47. That's your main product. But then if they like that, then you can offer them more one-on-one coaching or mentorship, VIP days, which they get to spend a day with you and you just talk to them all day long about building the transformation that they're trying to build. Maybe coach them on building their website, their social media, their email marketing, their slide decks. Maybe it's about charts. Maybe it's about talking to them about how to create offers, how to create hooks, how to create a story, is what we've just done. Whatever the change is that's offered in your book, whether it's helping them to look at different markets to make more money in different markets that they may not be aware of, you can do all of that in a VIP day where basically you're pouring yourself into them. That's a premium price. And of course, then there's reoccurring revenue, paid subscriptions, uh, monthly memberships, where they can subscribe to a new video that's series that's coming out, and you can create one just for paid members. And they can go to a VIP area in your website where they get exclusive content. You can say something like this: if you read the book, if you want me to help you implement it, that's what digital ministry success is for. You can join the membership, the group coaching, or if you want personal one-on-one, I can do that and help you with that as well. So this gives you a little bit of an idea of how to sell your book. Guess what we're going to do? We're going to stop right here. But what we're also going to do is we're going to come back next week and we're going to talk more about how to sell your book so that it's just not written and on the shelf, but so that it's active, it's engaging, and how to create more products from it. Again, I thank you for watching. It's been a good, productive day. You've got some things here that you can really draw upon. Those of you who go to the website Digital Ministry Success, sign up for a discovery call. We'll create an account for you. We'll drop the video right there so that you can go back and review it. And we'll also talk. Good night. God bless. We'll see you next time. Thank you for watching Digital Ministry Success. We'll see you next week on the podcast.